Now, moving on, next thing I'm going to cover real quick is the Ukraine war news, and I'm going to talk about Hegseth. So, the Secretary of War, Hegseth, has now called an emergency meeting of the top military brass to the Pentagon, and most likely this is going to be... Now, Hegseth has said that this is going to be a slashing of the top brass. He's going to cut the top brass down, and they want to get rid of all the woke generals and all the woke captains and everybody out there, the admirals, everyone that's on the woke side of this is going to be pushed out. That's the intent. I believe that's what Hegseth's intent is here. But I think that secondarily, and actually it's going to become primary, is that we may be going to war here. There's been a lot of Russian drone incursions in Europe over the past several days, and with Trump's statements at the UN, it could lead to a kinetic war between the United States and Russia, because if Russia actually does an attack on a UN or on a NATO country, Article 4 is going to be triggered. There's going to be a meeting. They're going to discuss it, and the United States may end up going to a kinetic war with Russia. It's just not going to be monetarily or by proxy through the Ukraine. That's huge, guys. I mean, that's absolutely freaking huge. And is it being portrayed like this in the mainstream news media? And even Fox doesn't have a headline on this as to it being that big of a deal. But Hegseth bringing in all the top brass, and he's going to cut a lot of people out. He wants to get rid of DEI. He wants to get rid of the woke indoctrination within the military across the board. And I think that's specifically due to the fact that if we do go to war, he needs all these people on his side. They're going to listen to what he's telling them to do, and they're not going to be trying to splinter off into their own rogue elements and doing whatever it is that they want to do. So he needs people that are going to be willing to get in line and follow what his orders are in this respect, and Trump's orders are in this respect, if we do end up going to war with Russia. And that is a very scary thought. And if it does happen here, I don't think that a small-scale war is going to be sustainable. It's going to end up in a world war. And it may end up with a nuclear conclusion, and let's hope that doesn't happen. So currently they got drones over in Denmark that is disrupting the airports that are saying these are Russian drones. And what it could be is Putin might be just testing NATO's response time. Then just letting Europe know that, hey, they're prepared to go to war with Europe, and they're prepared to go to war with NATO and the EU if it's a necessity. Because I don't believe Trump is going to I don't believe Trump is going to back off here, and I don't believe Putin is going to back off. And if neither of them are willing to back off here, we're going to end up in a kinetic war with Russia, and it's probably not going to be too far off. I'm not talking about months down the road or years down the road. Russia's economy is being hurt severely by the sanctions that are being imposed on them right now. So how long they can sustain themselves is a big question. It's a big question. Now, the military right now is solid in the Ukraine, but if the economy collapses, they're at a point at that time, they're just going to have to do something to keep the country in order. And if that's the case, then it may just be it may be a world war. And I believe they're going to go to China. I believe they're going to go to North Korea for help in this. And I think they're going to get backed by them, in truth. But we'll find out. Hopefully we don't find out the hard way, but let's find out.